Afternoon. Welcome to Connections, and I'm your host, Kevin McGee of the Victory Temple Church of God in Christ. You are listening to us on IntellectualRadio.com. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio. Connections is a show designed to keep you connected to the Christian community. So sit back and relax as we get connected. And if you wish to become a Connection sponsor, please reach out to me at bishop1915 at gmail.com, or you can simply inbox me on Facebook. Nature Sunshine. Have you set weight loss goals for 2019? Would you like to see a natural approach to weight loss? Do you have fibromyalgia, or are you taking medication for high blood pressure and diabetes, asthma, cancer, arthritis, or any other condition in your body? Do you have poor circulation, frequent colds, flu, or chronic fatigue? Or perhaps you just want to maintain a healthy body. Give Nature Sunshine a try. They have many products and plans that will assist you in losing weight or maintaining and improving your health the natural way. You can reach out to them at 708-302-5655. The Bedrock Movement affirms safety, comfort, dignity, awareness, and empowerment for Chicagoland street homeless. For any internship needs for school, community services mandated from the court, or you just want to volunteer assisting the homeless, please call John Netherly at 773-567-5110. And we do know that Mother's Day is approaching. Any of you that need ideas or you need Mother's Day gift, please inbox me on Facebook, and we can see what we can do to help you. Today, I'm so grateful to have in our studio for a second time a woman who is on her way to being a millionaire.
Yes.
She's on her way to being a millionaire, Shonda T. Smith, and she is a budgeting coach, and you're the owner of
Yes.
STS, Personal Financial Service. And so we're going to talk about budgeting your way to financial freedom.
Yes.
And budgeting is a word that everybody hates to hear. Everybody, I don't care how young, old, I don't care if you're young, old, rich, or poor. No one likes to hear the word budget because budget equals control or discipline. And
Mhm.
we hate people, we hate discipline. We hate to discipline. I said we just want to do whatever we're big enough and bad enough to do. But we're so grateful to have you back in the studio.
Thanks for having me back. I'm really excited for being here.
We're excited to having you, and you're going to help us to become empowered and
Yes.
how to free up some money so that
Yes.
we can do some things we would like to do, some things that we need to do, and some things that we can do to help others. Those of you that's watching on Facebook Live, you can please type any comments you have in the comment field on Facebook. And if you have any questions about budgeting, about financial freedom, about just what can I do with my money, what should I do with my money, how can I get the IRS off my back, you can feel free to type those comments in, or you can give us a call at 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. All right, so we're back, and like I said, budgeting. We hate to hear that word.
It's like a cuss word to some people.
It's like you said your mama.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, you need to budget. What?
What?
Shut your mouth.
Who you talking to?
And
Mhm.
especially in our community.
Especially our community for
Our
sure.
community, we don't, we budget is a foreign word. You just spoke a foreign language to us. Budget. You have to have money to budget. That's what some people say.
That's what people think. I mean, but contrary to popular belief, you have to budget when you don't have money.
Exactly.
Or when I should say, let me rephrase that. You have to budget when you think you don't have money.
So now, if you had to put a definition on the word budget, what would you say it is?
It is a tool that we use to track our finances.
Okay.
That's literally all it is.
It track to see where it's going.
What's coming in and what's going out. Most people are like, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Well, if you had a budget, you would know where your money is going. And that's why we need to do that, because people don't think that they have any money because they don't know where it's like, oh, I got this 20 out and I think I bought a pop and that was about it. I don't know what happened to the rest of that 20, because you know how it goes. Once you break a 20, it's gone. That's just like you spent $20 on that pop. You don't realize how fast the money is going. And when you have the budget, like I say, it's just a tool that you're using so that you can see what's coming in and what's going out and where it's going. And you'll find out all types of stuff about yourself and your lifestyle when you start making your own budget.
Wow. And I remember going into college, and I remember having my first job. It was on campus, And I was like, wow, my first job wasn't a whole lot of money. And so I didn't really worry about because I didn't have any bills. I
Right.
just had a couple of now okay, let me take it back. I had about 3 or 4 credit card bills because as soon as I walked through,
They got you.
they got me.
They
As soon
got
as
you
I
right
got
in the
through the
gate.
halls of the college, University of UIC, I got hit with all kinds of credit card applications. So
They got me too. Don't
they
worry
got
about
me.
it. That's why I'm doing this because they get us.
But outside of that, I was able to pay those and keep those, and so no problem. But when I got a first, I was still at UIC when I started working in corporate America,
Hmm.
Sears Tower for
Hmm.
Sears National Human Resources, making pretty good money.
Hmm.
And I remember uh, because the more money I made, the more bills I made.
That was the best line in the song from the great artist Biggie. More money, more problems. I mean,
But that's
because that's what I found. When you have more income coming in, most if you're not tracking your money and you don't have a budget, you'll spend it frivolously. You won't even know where it's going because in your man, you like, ooh, I got money. I'm gonna buy 6 chicken nuggets, throw three out, all that type of stuff. But most people who have the least amount of money probably have the best budgeting skills because they have to make sure, oh, I got to make sure these bills are paid. I got to make sure I eat today. I got to make sure, I have clothes on my back. But when you have more money, it's kind of like a false sense of security that, oh, I'm gonna always have some money. I got another check coming in 2 weeks. But see, now you live in paycheck to paycheck. So when do you supposed to build your generational wealth? When are you supposed to get out of debt? When are you supposed to for real have that peace of mind we had when we were teenagers when we didn't know we had it so good with no bills?
and see, like I said, with me, I'm working in corporate America. I'm still in college.
Mm-hmm.
College is paid for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and Sears at that time was paying weekly.
Oh, so you
Corporate
thought you
America
was
was still
balling,
on a
huh?
weekly thing. So I was like, I'm pulling this amount of money in as a college student working part time weekly. I was feeling good. Then I started realizing, like I said, the more money, the more bills. And I'm looking at my mother say, you need to make yourself a budget. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I looked at her like, shh, don't say that word.
What? You can't
Budget.
tell me what to
I
do with
said,
my money.
and
Mhm.
I've taken accounting classes. I knew, about budgeting and things like that, and I was like, no, 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 I don't do that.
Well, that's because people, like I say, people have like a negative mindset about budgeting. It is not, and I personally feel like it's harder to live without the budget than it is to live with a budget because without the budget, you don't know. You basically just guessing. And when you have the budget, you know exactly where every single penny of yours has gone so that when you have your financial goals that you want to set, like we were talking about earlier, you want to purchase a home or you want to, and you need to get out of debt, you want to build your credit, you have to know how to budget to be able to do those types of things because you're not going to build your credit and like you say you go to the credit repair, you build it up, you get it good, and then you go to purchase a home and you can't pay your bills because you don't know how to manage your money.
Hmm.
Like that don't make any sense. That don't help
Yeah,
you at all.
yeah, like you be singing like somebody. I believe I can fly.
Right.
Let me leave brother R alone,
Leave him alone, leave him alone.
cause I don't believe he ain't got no money. I don't believe
I
that.
don't believe he
I
got
don't
no
believe that.
money either.
Anyway,
Right.
that's a
That's
whole nother show
another
and a whole
show.
nother topic. But anyway, okay, so let's get right to what we want to talk about in budgeting our way to financial freedom.
Okay.
And everybody that's listening, look, get your pens and paper out, get your tablets out, everything. You need to take notes. We're in
Mhm.
class. Class has begun.
Class is in
Budgeting 101.
session.
All right. Budgeting 101. Well, first of all, before we get into that, let the people know that you do know what you're talking about. Give them your background.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm Shonda T. Smith because I like to use my middle initial. I'm the budgeting
Tell them what the
queen.
Tifa.
The T stands for Tradena. He make me say my middle name all the time. But
I
yeah, I'm
like
the
that
budget.
Tradena. That's a name you don't hear anywhere.
It's not a name I've
Wanda,
heard anyplace
Wanda,
else.
have you ever heard of Tradena? Okay, see,
Yeah,
you're
my parents
unique.
were original. They gave me something just all for me. But yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. I've been doing taxes since I was like 15 years old. And I started doing the budgeting thing as part of the business in the last couple of years because I have a lot of people that's always asking, hey, how are you handling things the way that you're handling? Because, I didn't make as much money as most people that I know, but they were like, but you still, living your life and things are still good. Now, don't get me wrong. I have these lessons for y'all because I had to learn them the hard way. So that's why I'm coming to tell people, like, okay, look, I didn't have anybody to help me with this. And I've accomplished all of these different things in my lifetime with learning the lessons and going through the stuff. And now I can come and bring it to you so we can shorten the time that you can do what you need to do.
And that's one reason why I started this show, Connections,
Mhm.
because so many people they're clueless as to what's out there, especially in the church. The people always say, the church doesn't do this, the church doesn't do that. We don't have the resources, and there are people in the body that have resources, but we need
Mhm.
to know who they are. And so my job is to connect people to one another. And so when it comes to empowering people for financial literacy, financial wealth, or what have you, generational wealth, if I know people that there are people that are in position that can be of help, I want to connect people with them.
Mhm.
So those of you that's listening, many of you want to start your own business, but you have no capital. You have
Mhm.
no capital. You can't go to the bank to get that small business loan because your finances and your credit has been jacked up. And so what we're trying to do is offer some means by which you can work to build your financial portfolio so
Mhm.
that you can then in turn realize your part of the American dream of having your own business, owning your own home, and not just one, owning not just your home, but owning some property within our
hmm
communities.
Owning property, owning your own home, living debt free. Like that's the major goal. Because I know a lot of people think that having debt, like you'll hear other people saying, "Oh, good debt is stuff like your home and car note and stuff like that." I mean, yeah, it's good to have a home because you can use that as things to help you with your life to get things paid off. But if you are at a point where you don't have a home yet, then right now you need to start with what you have right now and start saving and start getting out of debt. So, like you said, you can put yourself into the positions, you can put yourself in front of the people that can help you, and you can walk in there with confidence with your head held high, saying, "Hey, my credit score is this. I got this much saved in the bank. I ain't got no debt. I want this house."
Exactly. One of the things working as a realtor is that first thing I would do when people will come to me and say, "Hey, Kevin, I'm looking for a house. Do you have a pre-approval? Have you talked to a loan officer?" Because my thing is, I don't know what type of house, what price range to put you in
Mhm.
until your loan officer, your bank,
Mhm.
can decide what you can qualify for.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because for me, riding you around and
That's
going to
not
see
ideal.
you're trying to look at a $200,000 house, but you only have $60,000 worth of, qualification. No, that's not gonna work,
That's
and
not
that's
gonna
wasting
work.
my time. So go to see. Go see that loan officer. Go to your mortgage banker. Find out what you qualify for.
Get you a
Now,
budget coach. That's
a
what I'm
budget
here
coach,
for.
because then they will tell you, okay, you have a certain adverse items on your credit report
Mhm.
that you should address if you want to have more money to purchase a house, a more substantial priced house. So they might tell you, okay, let's work on paying this off, let's work on paying this down, let's work on doing this, doing that, and they
Yep.
will help you. But see, our people, we want what we want,
And we're stubborn.
and we want when we want it, you know. And the Bible says, "Let patience have a perfect work." Now, first of all, if we had took care of business before we got into the hole, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But because we did not do it, because we have people who are in place to help us,
Mhm.
let's heed the instructions of people who have been there, that know what they're talking about, that are qualified individuals to help us
Absolutely.
to get where they are.
Absolutely. Like I said, for me, I'm not doing this just for my health personally because, like I said, I live in the hood. I've seen it. I've grown up with friends and family members and my own things, where I learned, I have a degree in accounting. I learned this from my father, when I was younger about budgeting and taking care of your money. And even I faltered and I had the greatest lessons right there with me. So, this is what I say to people when it comes to budgeting when they're like, "Well, I don't have any money and I don't know what I'm doing and you're not going to tell me what to do with my money. See, when you deal with a budget coach, well, when you deal with me, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm going to help you to see where your money is going and what you can do to get it redirected back to you in the best possible way that works for you, which means we're going to work hand in hand and we're going to talk about, hey, can we cut these things out to save more money? Or you're going to actually see, okay, well, I actually do have money, but I didn't ate it up. You know, I didn't blew it on, like say I bought a pop and now my money go. That's just kind of how it goes. And when you do the budget, it'll show you that you actually have more wealth than you think you do because you're not tracking it, so you don't know where it's going.
Exactly. You know, get rid of get rid of Xfinity, get rid of DirecTV, and go to Hulu and go to all of the online where you can watch. Because half the
Yeah,
stuff you're not watching
half
anyway.
the stuff
You're
you're
only
not
watching
watching.
Netflix. You're only watching HBO. You
Some
know,
people got Fire Sticks, they got
yeah.
Roku, they have so many different avenues. And when you sit down and you have a discussion with me, we talk about all that type of stuff. We gonna really talk about your money mindset because that's one thing too that people don't think about. How you feel and think about money will affect how you spend it. You know, and how you have it. If you're gonna have money or if you're not gonna have money. And when you talk with me, we're gonna work out that money mindset. And if we need to change it, then guess what? We're gonna be changing it.
All right. Look, shout out to these people who have tuned in: Lynn Polite, V. Tyson, Darlene Williams, Phyllis Mays, Laquetta Watts, Carol Washington, Annette Harris, who hosts the show here on Wednesday, Mind, Body, and Soul. Today we're talking about budgeting our way to financial freedom. All right, so we're going to go to the first question.
Okay.
What is the first step to budgeting?
Well, the first step to budget is actually making the decision that you want to take control of your finances. That's literally the first step because most people are doing some form of budgeting every day anyway because we have to pay bills. So even if you're not writing it down and you're not tracking it or something like that, you're doing it in your head. You know rent is due on the first, you know car note is due at the end of the month, you know your Comcast bill is due on the 15th, your phone bill is due. So you're actually already doing the process of budgeting. You just kind of like just paying the bills and not doing the full process of budgeting because budgeting is more than just making sure your bills are paid. It's more than just being organized. You have to make a conscious decision that you want to take control of your finances and make the money work for you instead of letting the money work you.
And then you have to project. You have to have you have to project. Look into the future in a
Hmm.
sense. In case emergencies or arise. Don't just spend everything. My mind goes to any organization, any business. They start with They have an operating budget.
Operating income, yeah.
They put everything down on paper. One thing about it, and I learned this from a former manager of mine. He says the shortest pencil is longer than the best memory. The
It
shortest
is.
pencil is longer or better than the best memory because your memory will fail you. But when you use a pencil and write
You
it
write it
down,
down.
you got it in black and white.
Hmm.
So 2 years from now, you
You
back
go
and look
back
at
to that
that.
paper and
You
say, oh, okay, this is what I was doing.
you try to remember 2 years ago.
Trust me, it's stuff I can't hardly remember what happened the other day. So I got to write stuff down because if I don't, I'm going to miss it. And but for me, and I do my budget faithfully because I'm always thinking about, different things on how I can save extra money and what I want to do for my life and how I'm going to get things done. And I don't understand how people are making decisions in their life without actually budgeting their money. Because if you want, like, say, you want to buy that car, you want to go on this trip, you want to have new clothes, you want to have these things, where is the money going to come from? You can't just wait, work, paycheck, get paid on Friday, and swipe your card, and everything is good to go after that. Because then future you won't have anything down the line because you're trying to be fly today.
And I think too what happens with us, especially with our people, is that we travel in packs. And what I mean by that is that we know what we have, we know how much money we have, but our best girlfriend and our boy, man, let's go do this, let's do this. Well, you only have X amount of dollars that you can use to splurge, but we end up using the X amount of dollars plus the rent plus a
Mhm.
portion of the car note because we're kind of
Mhm.
trying to keep up with those that are around us that's running in the pack.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And when you keep up with the Joneses, you lose your Benjamins.
Definitely lose your Benjamins. I'm gonna tell you this: family and friends are your worst enemy when you are trying to get your finances together, because they don't understand your struggle. They don't know what you're trying to do. And it don't matter. You could tell them 17,000 times and say it to you blue in the face. They're going to still ask you, do you want to go out to eat on Friday night? And if you be like, no, they're going to say, well, why not? Or just come on anyway. Or
Why you
just this,
acting
that.
bougie?
Right. You funny acting now. What's wrong with you? But just know all of that is going to come when you are trying to get your finances together, because it is a whole life change. You're going to have to change your lifestyle to meet the financial goals that you're going to want to have for yourself. And when you start digging into your finances, you're going to dig into your life. Trust me.
And the reason why they don't understand is because they figure, hey, if you need some money, just ask for it. Like I'm gonna ask you for some money.
Right.
you know,
Right. They're going to say, well, I'll loan it to you. But that's all. Get what's a loan?
that's something you got to pay back.
It's
You got to
something you
have
got to
money
pay
to pay
back.
back.
It's debt.
Yeah.
It's that you owe them. And I don't care what nobody say. You can tell me I don't owe you. I'm gonna always feel like I owe you. So I don't want to put myself in that situation. And I'm trying to help other people to learn how to say no when they need to say no. Like you mentioned earlier, budgeting requires a whole lot of discipline and a
Exactly.
whole lot of patience.
Exactly. How early in life should one begin to budget?
As early as you possibly can. I started teaching my daughter about money when she was in kindergarten. And it wasn't necessarily, oh, let's sit down and we're going to talk about budgets today. No, it was just small doses because she was only 5. She's 5, 6 years old. You know, kids want ice cream, they want chips. You start teaching them that way. Hey, you have $1. The ice cream costs 75 cents. How much money you going to have left? It's math. So it's like, come on, like if you can count and you can add and you subtract, you can learn how to manage your money. And if you start teaching your kids early, they'll develop those habits as they get older. And so for her, she's 17 years old. Oh, she started her first job this week. So
Wow.
proud
Okay.
of her. And I'm really excited. And with that comes different lessons about money. W-4 form, W-2s, like what's an exemption? What's a dependent? These are things that I'm starting to teach her now. But as she's been growing, it's been different things. Like when she was little, she used to have trouble with telling time on the analog clock. And so I used money to kind of help her. Like she couldn't understand what's a quarter past the hour. So I set out 4 quarters at the quarter past the hours, and she got it within 20 minutes because I was telling her 4 quarters is $1, 15 minutes is like 25 cents. And so you know she
Yeah.
got it from there.
Exactly. And it was so funny the reaction. She got her first job. I had the same reaction when Jaleesa got her first job. Well, it wasn't her first job, but when she got her real job working for Marshalls last year,
Oh
and
wow.
she was so happy and filling out the forms, and I had to,
Hmm.
okay, this is this the W-2 form, so it's about the whole taxes thing and all of that good stuff. I
Yes.
said, because you got to pay taxes,
Gotta pay them taxes.
and who FICA and all that. I had to explain all of that to her
Yeah.
because young people need to know. And the earlier you can teach your young people about money, the better off they will be, especially going into college. I'm an
Oh my
I'm
God,
an
yes.
advocate on teaching young people about money before they get to college and not saying yes to the credit
To
card
the credit card
applications the minute you
application,
walk on
absolutely.
campus.
Because they're the ones that they are looking for, because they know they're naive. They know they don't know. So they trying to get you early. And they don't care about you getting in debt. They just trying to make their quota to get these,
Hmm.
credit cards signed up for. So that's also why I'm actually working on a course that I want to present to schools for high school students, because I think, like you said, they need to know these things. Because when I was in high school, yeah, I had my father talking to me about budgeting and, oh, save your money and do good things with your money, and so that you can save for your life in the future. But I didn't get those conversations about don't get the credit cards, or have a better mindset. Say no to the credit cards. And I'm teaching my daughter those things. And I have friends who kids are the same age as mine. So I don't want to see them get in debt. I don't want to see them have to get loans. I don't want to see them really start life off, especially our kids, start life off already behind, because when you get out of college, now you owe $100,000 in debt. You don't even have a job yet.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting off in the negative. So these are the course that I'm working on actually with Brianna, because she's a teenager, and it's like, what questions do you have? What things do you not know? What do you want to know about? And so with her help, I'm developing a course that's geared specifically for high school students to teach them about the questions that they have, because some of them are getting jobs while they're in high school, and they need to know about finances early, and they need to know about how to handle their money and save for their money, and what's saving and what's budgeting and what's investing and things of those nature. So
All right.
hopefully I can have those completed real soon, but I'm expecting to have them done by the end of the summer.
Cool, cool. Now, when we're talking about budgeting, is it best to work with a financial planner?
I think so, absolutely, because when you have a financial planner, it gives you a extra level of accountability, and it helps you with the discipline portion that a lot of people lack when it comes to managing their money. Because with me, like I said, when you sit down and talk to me about your finances and say, hey, Shonda, these are the things that I want to do. This is what I'm trying to get done. And I'm going to sit and speak with you about all of the different budgeting methods that we can go through, which one is going to work best for you. And we're going to work out a blueprint that'll work best for you. For me, I didn't have anybody to do that for me. And you can most definitely do this type of thing on your own, but it is better to have somebody who have that experience, who know what to do and can guide you down the path, instead of you veering off here and veering off there, because they're going to assess your situation and give you the best, process that can help you. And then what I'll do is I'll keep you accountable by checking in with you via text messages, phone calls. We'll have budgeting sessions where you come in and you talk to me, and we look through your budget, and we make sure, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you want to adjust your budget, like if you want to say, like for me, there are different budgeting methods, right? For me, I like to use a zero-based budgeting method where I count for every single dollar down to zero. But there are other methods where there's the 20-30-50 rule, there's the 10-10-30-50 rule. There are so many different methods that you can use. And when you are working with the budgeting coach, they help you figure out which one works best for you. That goes back to what I was talking about with your money mindset. Like, why do you think the way that you think? Why are you feeling the way you feel about money? And then we can adjust it and tweak it so that you can start having a better relationship with your money.
Okay. And I was calling you the budgeting queen at one point.
I am the budgeting queen.
Okay. All right. The budgeting queen, budgeting coach. All
I'm a
right. So,
budgeting coach, but I'm definitely the queen of this with all the stuff that I've been going through.
all right. So now, what do you say to that person that says that all of their money is already committed? I can't afford no financial planner. All my money, I can't afford to budget. My money got to go to ComEd and got to go to NICOR, got to go here, go there. What do you say to those people who don't see any way that they can budget? Because many people think you got to have some money to budget. I ain't got no extra money to budget.
And that is not exactly true. You have to have money, of course, to budget. Yes, absolutely. Because what are you going to budget if you don't have any money? So yeah, that's a true statement. And you have money to budget because you pay your bills, right? You bought this shirt that you have on your body. You got these shoes. You got money to budget. You need to know how to budget it. And when you're working with a coach, it'll be better because, like I said, they keep you accountable. They keep you focused. And what I would say to that person is, come talk to me. Because if you already don't think you have money, then I know you probably have more money to work with, and you are basically shooting yourself in the foot. So come make an appointment. Set a consultation with me. Let's sit down and look through your budget, look through your finances, and see where your money is at. Because if you can't see it, then maybe I can see it.
Because a lot of times people have more money than they realize.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's just distributed into the wrong areas. I remember, like I said, I was a former loan officer, a realtor, but as a former loan officer, people who declare bankruptcy,
Yeah.
I looked at the different types of chapters out there. And so a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to do the chapter 7 and wipe everything clean. I said, okay, okay.
No, okay.
I said, all right, you can do that. He said, well, I said, well, if you since you got to file bankruptcy, why not do a 13 where at least you're paying back your creditors and it looks
It
better
builds
for
your
you.
credit.
It
Yeah.
builds your credit. Well, I don't have no money. I would if I had money to pay them, I wouldn't have to declare the chapter 13. Well, I said, well, the trustees will find the money so that this group of people will get paid, this group of people get paid, and you
Mhm.
still got money to live on.
Mhm.
I said they can allocate your money for you and they'll do it for X amount of months until the bankruptcy is discharged. So there is money that you have, you just don't know
You
where
don't know where it's
your
at.
money is hiding.
You had, yeah, it's definitely hiding from you. And that's why I say it's harder to live without the budget, because it's like I couldn't even imagine myself going back to not tracking my money. Because, and this is how I know, because I'm a little, I get a little crazy with my budget because I've been doing this so long. So I'm always thinking about the budget. So I'm pulling it up on my phone. I'm on it at home, on my laptop, checking everything, making sure every single penny is where it's supposed to be. But also, I'm like that because I've also had some issues where people have hacked into my bank account. So I
Hmm.
always got to make sure that my
Your
money
stuff
is
is
where it's
straight.
supposed to be. And I need all of my coins, as they say. But it's like people get into this whole mindset of, oh, this money, I don't have it, I can't do it. And they talk themselves out of having the money. They actually talk the money away from them by saying that they don't have it, by thinking that they don't have it. And in that same breath will stop at the gas station and put gas in their car and buy a Starbucks coffee and buy a donut and then go around the corner and go to McDonald's and get them, something to eat. And this is the same person that's like, but I don't have any money.
But see, you're the person. See, that's what they're afraid of. Cause see, what happens is when somebody comes in with the budgeting,
Yeah.
you're telling me now, okay, for the next few months, we're gonna cut out Starbucks. The devil is a lie.
See, no, and
you
see,
know,
that's the thing.
but that's the mindset.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is.
no more eating
Oh,
out.
I
What?
can't go.
I gotta cook every night?
Right,
No, I'm not
right.
doing that. Or I gotta get my hair done. Gotta get my
Exactly.
nails done. Well, no, so they think that they have to. Yes, you
They
do
have to
have to
not have any
alter some
funds.
things. You have to alter
Yeah.
some things. You have to change some things. You have to discipline your things. And,
But you
and
can
don't get me
still do
wrong.
stuff.
I love my Starbucks. I love Starbucks,
Look, I
but
got the Starbucks app on my phone right now.
I got it on my phone. I got a cabinet full of Starbucks that I can make at home. Don't let me get an espresso maker. I'm gonna be really
Ooh.
messed up. But let me tell you something. If I can't afford to drink Starbucks, Folgers taste just as good.
Exactly.
When I don't have to pay as
When
much
you don't
for
have
it,
to pay as much.
and I'll even get the instant coffee if I just need to have some coffee. You know what I mean? So you can tailor your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Even you can. Let me see. Hardship will make you change
Look,
your
your life.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. You'll find out some ways to make things happen.
but you should not have to go into that route of
No.
the rut of hardship. You don't want hardships to determine your livelihood.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you a story. So, in my 20s, like I said, I got all of this
You're only
budget.
25.
I mean, I am, but still. No. But in my 20s, I like say I had all of this budget and knowledge, and I'm, like, yeah, everything is good. And I was able to pay all of my bills. And because the cost of living wasn't as high as it is now, at the time I was making good money. Like you say, I was making pretty good money. I could pay all my bills, I could do some things, I could go hang out with friends, I could just do whatever I wanted to do. But I was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have any money saved up, and I was still paying off credit, and I was still paying credit cards that I didn't even have access to using anymore because I didn't used up all of the limit on the credit card. And but now I'm paying it. So money is flowing out from me that is not even benefiting me at this point. And then guess what happened? I lost my job. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I don't have no money saved up. No, I can't pay my rent next month, landlord. Can I pay you in 2 months when I have saved up this 1 month of rent? So those type of things put me in a situation where, like you said, I had to rob Peter to pay Paul to figure out how to get things done. And It really makes you change your lifestyle. Now, as far as people saying, oh, budgeting is so restricting, I can't do what I want to do. You're not going to tell me I can't have my Starbucks. I drink Starbucks. I love Starbucks, but I don't drink it every day.
Exactly.
I limit myself because I know I'm not gonna blow my budget for a cup of Starbucks coffee. I'm not gonna do that. That just doesn't make sense to me because you can say, "Oh, it's only $5. It's only this amount. It's only that amount." And let's say, so if it's only $5 and you drink Starbucks every day for 5 days, you have only spent $25 on coffee
Exactly.
in 1 week, and you doing this every week. You know how much money you're spending on coffee? Well, you can cut it down to maybe 2 days a week, and you still are getting the benefit of feeling like you are getting rewarded for your hard work. You can still set stuff like date night and go hang out with your significant other or go hang out with your friends and all this other stuff, but you on a budget. So you have to be like, all right, date night is set at a $50 cap or $100 cap or whatever your flavor may be. As long as it's within your budget and you can afford it within your budget, then you're fine. That's the thing I feel like people misconstrue about budgets, that they think it's so strict and it's hard cut and steadfast of what you said is gonna be.
Okay.
You can change your budget to fit your lifestyle. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, yeah, you wrote it down, but you wrote it in pencil. So erase it and write a new number and figure out what you need to do. If this number is not working for you, you change it. And that's the thing I feel like people don't feel like they understand about budgeting. You have the power to make your budget do what you want it to do because money is just a tool and we use it and we control it. It don't control us. But, some people let it control them.
Okay. So now, you're between you and I, you're the expert at this.
Okay.
I just,
Yes, I am.
I'm the one that just got, I need to learn how to budget better anyway. But you're the expert. What are some tips or steps that people need to remember when budgeting?
Okay, so I have 3.
Okay.
All right, and I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them. So the first thing I want people to remember is that budgeting is not an easy, quick fix overnight process. Because I talked to a couple people and they're like, oh, I want to do this and I have these, and they have all of these things that they want to take care of, but they want to do it tomorrow. I was like, well, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Or they want me to give them this quick fix. Oh, if you just plug this in, then that'll boom, fix your whole budget. No, 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 no. That's not how this works. This requires some effort on your part to make sure that you're hitting the goals that you've set forth with your budget coach. So you have to be very intentional and diligent with doing your budget. And it's not going to be easy. It will take some time. That's number one. That's the first thing I want people to remember. So when you coming into this process and you finally make that decision that you want to do, that you want to get your finances together, just understand you're going to put in some work. You're going to make some sacrifices. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell people, oh yeah, it's easy. It's not. It's difficult, but it's worth it. The second thing is, like I mentioned just a little bit ago, that money is a tool. We control it, not the other way around. And having a budget is a great way to gain control over your finances. Plain and simple. That's all it is. The last thing that I want to talk about is you have to keep your budgeting goals as SMART. That's SMART, SMART goals, where it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time based. So you want to know what you want to do. So you got to be very specific when you write it. You have to know how you going to know you've reached your goal. So what amount of money you want to pay. Let's say you have a debt and you have credit card debt and you want to say, I want to pay off this credit card debt. That's being specific. How you going to measure it? I need it to be $5,000 of the credit card debt paid off. And then is it attainable? Oh yeah, I have a job. I can afford this. It's in my budget. Is it a realistic goal that you can set? Because people will sometimes shoot themselves in the foot by not being realistic about what they are willing to do and what their finances are capable of doing. And the last thing is that it needs to be time based. You need to set an end time when it's going to be done so that you have a set of accountability to say, okay, in 6 months, I will have paid off $5,000 worth of debt. That's being very specific. It's measurable. it's attainable, it's realistic, and you have time, and it's time based. And then you can do other stuff like, oh, I want to save $700 in my emergency fund by the end of the year. You have to, those are the things that you start out with your goals. And you say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. And then you go from there on how you want to make things happen.
I like how you put that. The smart, because the thing that is most effective is when we see what we're trying to do, as
Hmm.
opposed to making this grandiose um, blanket or global statement of I'm going to save money, I'm going
Right.
to pay all of my bills off. But here, with the way you just said, the specific, the measurable,
Measurable,
attainable,
attainable, realistic,
realistic,
and
and
time
time,
based.
now you've narrowed the field down to specific items to
Hmm.
work on in a certain amount of time.
And it's easier to work on your budget in small doses like that, opposed to like how you say your grand scheme of things is you want to be financially free. That's the main goal. That's the big picture. But under this big picture, you have to have these little small goals that you're working on to get to the big picture, because you can't jump from the beginning of the line to the end of the line. You got to process to
And we
get
hate
through.
standing in line.
We hate standing in them lines. I am the worst because I hate traffic, and I be losing my mind.
Like the traffic you were in coming
Like
here.
the traffic I was in on the way here, and I'm sitting in the traffic like, I'm gonna be late. This is driving me insane. You have to have that same mindset when it comes to your budget, when it comes to taking control of your finances, wanting to get out of debt, because nobody, like say, nobody wants to be told what to do with their money, which is why I don't tell people what to do with their money. You tell me what you want your money to do for you, and I'm gonna help you make a blueprint of how to make that happen.
Cool, cool. Now, this is the part that everybody likes to know. We're talking about budgeting, this, that, and the other. We're
Mhm.
talking about being disciplined. But when do we get to enjoy the fruit of our labor? When do we get to enjoy the money that we worked so hard to make in order? When will we see that
When will
path to
you see that
financial
financial
freedom?
freedom?
Because you're telling me I'm on budget and it's not an easy, quick fix. And it sounds like I'm going to be budgeting for years because I got a lot of debt. When do I expect to enjoy the fruit of my labors and see the path to financial? When I'm going to see the finishing line, say, you made it. This,
You made it. Well, this is the thing. When it comes to budgeting, there are small finishing lines, because there's not a end game when it comes to it. Shout out to the Avengers. There's no end game when it comes to that, because you're going to have to budget for the rest of your life. Like you said, yeah, you will be budgeting for the rest of your life, because once you get used to doing this budget process, you won't be able to stop budgeting. It will become addictive. And if you stick with the process, like you say, you go and you sit down with a financial coach, or you come talk to me as a budget coach, and we hash out this plan for you and say, hey, this is what you need to do. These are the things and the steps that you need to take to reach the goals that you just told me that you want to do. And if you stick to that, within the first 90 days of you sticking to your budget, you'll start seeing results, no matter how small that they are, because it'll be stuff like, oh, I have actually more spending money than I thought that I had. Or, oh, I have more money that I can save. I have money that I can invest. And it makes you start looking for money in your budget to do the things that you want to do. So within those first 90 days, and you being disciplined and you being steadfast and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do to reach those goals, you will see those results. Now, because everybody has different goals and different things that they want to do, it may, like you say, somebody has a longer term goal than you, they probably won't start seeing results for 6 months. But that's because they have a lot to clean up before they can start actually seeing it. So it just really depends on what the goals that you're setting. If you're working on a, reducing debt setting goal, it'll take it, you'll see that over time, but it'll take some time, because while you're still paying off these credit cards and you have interest that are gaining on them, unless you have decided to transfer them over to a zero interest credit card to help you save some money. But those are the types of things that you go through when you're doing the budget. You see, oh man, my credit card charging me so and so an amount of interest, but I have this credit card offer that's going to give me a zero interest, and you can transfer those balances. And I actually suggest to do things like that to save as much money as you possibly can while you're paying your debt down. Because as I keep telling people, if you have debt and money saved in the bank, you still have debt. If you don't have enough, if you don't have more money in the bank than you have debt, you're
Hmm.
still in debt.
And it's interesting you mentioned the credit card because the average person, when they, especially if they got in credit cards when they were younger, they never
Hmm.
looked at the APR.
No, because they don't
They
even know
just
what the
they just
APR
looked at the
is.
credit limit, so they didn't see that. Oh yeah, we're gonna give you $1,000 credit limit, but at a 21.5 APR.
Hmm.
We're not looking at
Try,
that.
try my credit was so bad. I was at 24.9 now with my Discover card.
See,
And that's how they ended up.
discovers of the devil.
Oh my goodness. Like I found I ended up with a judgment for that Discover card too because like I said, I lost my job and couldn't pay the bill. They sent me to court. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I know what I'm talking about. These people sent me to court to pay them for something. I was like, I don't have any money to pay y'all. I didn't because at the time I didn't. I didn't have a job. But like I said, I was younger. I didn't know. And I eventually got everything taken care of with them where the judgment's no longer on my credit. It's been several years. Um, and over the last 5 years, I've just been, paying off credit cards and paying off old medical bills and like back taxes that I've owed. And that's another thing, people. Please make sure you are filing your taxes. I know in the last segment we talked about that, but I just wanted to bring that up because there are so many people that have this nonchalant attitude about the taxes and did come and be like, well, what can I do? Well, you got to pay the taxes. That's what
The
what you can
IRS
do.
is gonna get
They gonna
their
get their
money.
money, and either you gonna willingly give it to them or you gonna unwillingly give it to them. But you gonna give it to them.
See, that's the one person that will get the money. Sears might not get their money. J.C. Penney might not get their money. American Express might not get their money. But the
But IRS,
IRS is
they
gonna
gonna get
get
their
their money
money
because
because
you're not gonna get your money.
two things that are certain in life: taxes and death.
Exactly.
So that's what's
And
gonna
neither
happen,
one is desirable.
and neither one is desirable.
And so this is why we need people like you
Mhm.
to educate, especially our young people before they get in trouble. To
Yeah.
educate them about the credit cards and the APR. To educate them
Hmm.
about planning ahead. Because here's the thing: if you make a plan for your life, such as at the age of 20, I'm going to do this. At the age of 30, I'm going to be here. At the
Hmm.
age of 50, I'm here. You've already budgeted your life.
Exactly.
Budgeting,
Exactly.
this what we're talking about is a financial budget.
Financial budget.
You're
Exactly.
budgeting your life anyway because you're setting goals for your life and your livelihood. And so it's the same thing that translates over to
To your
finances.
finances.
And you're not going to have all that you want in your personal life if your
If-
financial life is not together. They go hand in hand.
Come on, Pastor. You
All
better
right,
say
they go
something right
hand in
there.
hand. So we need people to educate, and I'm really I'm planning on doing a financial literacy workshop, and so
Okay.
I need individuals to help with this.
I'm willing to help
Um,
any way I can.
and so during the summer, because young people need to know what to look for. It's not just about making money. I'm going to quote a line from Spider-Man.
Okay.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
With money comes responsibilities,
Yes.
and when you misuse money, there are consequences.
Oh, yes.
And so
There are
we
so
want
many
to make
consequences.
sure that we have the least amount of consequences as possible.
And making the money work for us.
Making the money. Let me tell you, millionaires still have to follow a budget.
Yeah.
That's how they keep their money.
That's how they keep their money.
So,
They
now,
not frivolously just spending it because they saw these pair of jeans and they was fly on them or they saw these shoes that everybody else had and they want to keep up with the Joneses, so they go buy the shoes when they know that they don't have any food in their refrigerator. So it's like I say, it makes you change your lifestyle. It makes you start thinking about things more responsibly
exactly.
and stop, like you say, trying to jump on the bandwagon of what's the next new fad, and you because it's gonna make you live your life completely different, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it to yourself to start budgeting your money as early, like you said, as you possibly can. Start educating your kids about their finances, because especially like say our people, we don't talk about money. There's this whole taboo around it in the community of you don't talk to people
We
about
don't talk about money 'cause we ain't got no money.
right. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's more, if that's the only conversation you get. No, I don't have any money. No, I can't loan you anything. As a matter of fact, where my $5 that you owe me? But I'm trying to change the narrative. I'm trying to change the conversation and get us to start talking about money and get the young folks to start talking about money and asking questions because I cannot in good conscience send my daughter out into the world knowing she don't know how to manage her own finances because I won't be comfortable with her being out there if I didn't teach her. So I'm gonna give that same opportunity to other people's kids. That's why I'm working on this program with her, getting the courses available so that I can have them ready by the end of the summer, ready to go into the fall. And I'm gonna see what I can get. Like start having people set up for it. It'll be a some of the courses I will be offering for free and then some of the courses of course will be paid courses but there'll be courses nonetheless though they'll be available, they'll be out here. I'm always available for questions. You can always hit me up on Facebook,
Okay.
like my page STS Personal Financial Services, follow me on Instagram at the underscore budgeting underscore queen, and we can work some things
Mhm.
together, work things out.
Give a shout out to your church home.
Oh, shout out to United Baptist.
And you all just got a brand new pastor.
We just got a brand new pastor. My mother just told me about it.
Yeah, my friend Katrina Wright is on the committee, and so shout out to the brand new pastor of the United Baptist Church. Shout out to the longtime pastor, Pastor Wilson Daniels,
Yes,
and
yes.
my great friend Tammy Pope and David Pope, and your entire family for a job well done and leading that congregation for so many years. And now the next generation for United Baptist Church. God bless everybody. We thank God for you tuning in to Connections. And Shonda will be back because we're going to make this sort of a regular segment
Yeah.
for the Connection Show. But feel free to tune in every Saturday morning, every Saturday afternoon, noon to 1 p.m. on IntellectualRadio.com. Where if you're not busy, feel free to join us in the Broadview area at our church Sunday mornings, 8 o'clock a.m. to 9:30 a.m. We're located at 2000 West Roosevelt Road inside of the Community Presbyterian Church building, the Victory Temple Church of God in Christ. Tomorrow is our family day at 4 o'clock p.m. And tomorrow morning's message will be salvation. Don't leave earth without it. Until next week, we'll see you on Connections here on IntellectualRadio.com. Good girl.